no, it's totally cool what you're saying, because not a lot of people get that about, like, you know, really the immediacy of being able to, you know, to create something quickly, but to have the skill to be able to do that, and so it captures a freshness that you just don't get with
because you overthink. I think if you worry about too much fine rendering, and I do fine rendering within these paintings, or what I consider it, but they're the kind of like attacking in a good way. Like you go into it, and I don't think about a specific visual expectation I'm trying to achieve, but I do think about kind of like localized goals, like this needs to be developed, and as my impulse leads me other places, you know, I can always come back to something, but I'm like, okay, this needs to happen now. It needs to happen now, and I go to that.
Right.
And some things stay very undeveloped, and some go more developed, and there's always a balance. And my training helps me with like the latter stages. Like as I dive into it, of course, it's not going to be a complete painting. It's going to seem really unfinished because it's still unfinished. But for the lack of, I don't hate to say lack of development, but the lack of development compared to like a traditional, like my training, compared to that, you know, this would still seem like unfinished in areas, but for me, it's like, it doesn't need to be finished to that extent in certain areas.
Right. Because you capture the strength of it.
Yeah.
And what else would you want when you're painting a lion?
Yeah, you want...
Why would you want like a prissy lion?
Exactly. You want essence, you want the essence, and if you can achieve the essence in 3 seconds, don't add a second more, because I talk like these pieces, here's, like say this painting took me 10 hours total. If I spent another 5 minutes with it, those 5 minutes would be going to ruining it. I could spend 60 hours and feel validated for, you know, like time equals money type thing, but I'm going to spend 40 of those hours are going to be a complete, you know, I'm just ruining it, slowly destroying it. So
Totally.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely have thought a lot about it, and
that is so cool.
And,
we're sort of on the same page.
Yeah. It's a weird thing because my background's so different from that. I never had even considered the value of these things, and a lot of it is, I think, society kind of expectations. Sometimes it helps you, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
But in this case, you know, I was so worried about what was expected of me academically, socially validated, again, like something that takes a long time and is meticulous and arduous, and if you're miserable doing it, even better, because that makes it more valuable. I'm like, that's not, it doesn't have to be that way.
Totally.
You know, some people can do that, and some things like, you know, thank God there are ER doctors. That's probably not a fun job. You know, some people can handle that. Some people, I personally couldn't. I don't need to struggle immensely to feel like I can create something valuable or do something worth doing. And that was more just like identifying my personality and what my natural inclinations are. But
that's awesome. Thank you for letting me feel you saying that.
Yeah.
You're gonna really inspire my students. That's a lot about what I'm teaching them is that essence, you know, to not get caught up in like, oh, I can't do it, or how do I detail it, you know, and to just to let it flow. Learn the skills, but let it flow, and then you don't get like that blockage. You express something really strong in your work, and you don't have to sit there for hours and hours and hours fretting.
Yeah.
You can if you want to.
You can, and I think, sorry, this just reminded me when you said like there's this idea of like fear of failure can be really can be terrible, because like you're gonna fail. You're always gonna fail. You're gonna fail all the time. I'm gonna fail again. I failed completely to get to this point. I was terrified of it. When it happened, it was shitty. But so I want to tell your students that.
No, don't worry about it. There are all kinds of students. A lot of graffiti people.
Okay, yeah, so swearing.
No
problem. They're like little kids.
They'll think more of you.
Yeah, cool. Maybe not the pastel shirts. But no,
I have all kinds of students. I got graffiti artists. I got airbrush artists.
Awesome.
So, don't worry about it.
The whole variety.
Everybody's gonna think something different. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that fear of like failure can be sometimes motivating, but oftentimes can stop you from doing something that you might want to do. If y'all have any questions too, just holler.
And this guy, by the way, yes, check out his space. He has no fear of failure. He's created this incredibly huge space, like monster. It's a gorgeous studio.
Yes. And I actually have a video on my website too, kind of my process. I try to be really.
Oh well, give me a card. I'll put a link on this.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
it's right up here.
Could you just tell them your name?
Daniel McClendon.
And he paints in Asheville.
Yeah, I'm a painter in Asheville, North Carolina.